Hi, and welcome to day 15 of the R Christmas Advent Calendar 2019. Yesterday I felt was really challenging. There was a lot going on there. There was a new data set, there was a pipe operator, we were doing something called mutation. We learned how to write files out. If you hung through yesterday, then you are doing fantastic. Let's jump into day 15 and see what happens. So today, finally, we are going to look at some data. We're actually going to make a plot. In this case, we're going to look at a histogram of deer power, which means they're going to return back to the sleigh data from a couple of days ago, and we're going to use this hist or histogram function to look at it. In this case, we're going to just pull out the column we're interested in using this $ notation. Alright, so just to make sure we're all set up, if you've closed out RStudio, make sure to set your working directory. I think that's all you'll need to do. Make sure you've read in the sleigh data. And so in this case, that would be something like a setwd command, and that would point to wherever you've got your files. I'm not going to type it, you've seen it already. And the sleigh data is read in with a line that looks something like this, sl.dat, and you're going to read in that CSV of the sleigh data.csv. I'm going to just clean out my environment. There's a little button in RStudio, looks like a broom. You can clear stuff out just to clean it up and make it a little easier, and then read that sleigh data back in. And now we're going to create a histogram of the deer power. Let's just run that line. So finally, we're using the plot pane in the lower right window, and you can see that the x-axis of the histogram are the bins of the histogram. So here it sort of automatically started them off at 50 and then sets a bin every 50 for the deer power. And the y-axis now is the frequency or the count. So it looks like there are 10 deer that have a deer power, or 10 sleighs, excuse me, that have a deer power between 100 and 150, maybe 6 that are between 150 and 200, and so on. And so you can see this gives us an idea of how our data is distributed. Is it normal? Is it skewed? This looks, to my eye, skewed slightly to the left. And it just gives us a way to sort of start to get an overview of what all our data looks like. Now again, maybe we only want to look at deer power for the red sleighs. Now for this we would have to have that object subsetted, which I don't because I have deleted it from my environment. I'm just going to scroll back up here to day 12 when we were talking about subsetting, and I'm going to rerun this line to get that object red, which has just the red sleighs. And now I can run my red deer power line, and we can see that the histogram has changed. So now we have fewer frequency, mainly because there are just fewer red sleds. And so there are 3 that are between 50 and 100, 6 between 100 and 150, and so on. And so that gives us a glimpse at that subsetted data. So that's very basic plotting. There are a lot of built-in plots for R. Histogram is very powerful for getting an overview of your data, and I'm sure we'll talk about more as the exercise continues. That being said, that's all for today. If you have any questions about this, ask in the comments, and otherwise I will talk to you tomorrow.